Okay, so what we'd like to do also is bring out our guest speaker, and this is quite an honor for me. And let me show you a summary of our guest speaker. So our guest speaker is Cecille Sangalang, and Cecille is actually from the inaugural Northwest Flyers team. I'm going to ask her to count. How many years ago was that? She doesn't want to say a number. Okay, but that's the group that had 6 athletes. Very successful in the youth club track and field system. She was a many-time junior Olympian competing at the national level. She's actually a track and field superstar from the area. She attended Cypress Creek High School. And high school, she was honor student and competed in varsity cross country and track. At the highest level in high school varsity sports, she actually qualified and competed in the UIL 5A state championship, where she was the Texas state champion in cross country and the 1,600-meter run. For our younger athletes, especially those that will be in middle school or high school, we've posted her times, and she had some monster times. If you note, the 1,600 meter was 5 minutes and 6 in high school. 800 meters was 2 minutes 16, and the 400 meters was 59. Cecille she comes in a package of 3 because she's a triplet. And then all 3 competed, and all 3 were standouts. And because of that, she's actually part of NCAA track and field history. So Cecille is part of the triplet set that was the first set of triplets to ever get an NCAA track and field scholarship to a major university at the same time at the same school. At Texas A&M University, she completed her BS degree in civil engineering. She was a busy student, but also an outstanding student athlete. She was a Division I track and field athlete for 4 seasons and led it all 4 years. She was all Southwest Conference, and she achieved the highest distinction you can achieve in NCAA Division I athletics. She was an NCAA Division I All-American in the sport of cross country. Cecille is now president of the Sangalang Land Development Services Company, and she's just a stand-up person because when her track and field days were done, she came back to the Northwest Flyers and coached. Didn't have a kid in the program, just came back and dedicated, all of her free time to coaching and developing kids. And she developed, I know at least 2 of our strongest distance runners ever. One was Blake Shaw from Cy Falls High School, who became a state champion in the 800 and the 1,600. Do you remember Blake? Yes. And Leslie Shilsky. She coached Leslie Shilsky, and she just went above and beyond. She would meet with Leslie at 6 in the morning on weekdays to coach her to get her practice in before she had her afternoon practice at Cypress Creek High School. So just a stand-up person, didn't have to do that, has won every award you can possibly win in the sport, and came back and dedicated all her free time to our program. So it's just my honor, it's my pleasure to bring up Cecille, and she's going to share some words. Miss Cecille Sangalang.
Good morning, everyone. Who is happy to be here this early on a Saturday morning? I'm only here because of the Northwest Flyers, otherwise I'd still be in bed. Thank you, Pal. Like Pal said, my name is Cecille Sangalang. I'm extremely honored to be here and very blessed to have been part of the original Northwest Flyer team in 1987. Seeing the audience, this is amazing. Like Pal said, I mean, we maybe had 8 people, 3 of which I was related to, and then 3 coaches. This is seeing firsthand the continued growth of the Northwest Flyers. To have an organization sustain for 36 years through COVID, nonetheless, is a testament to the leadership, the coaching, and the parents of this organization. Please help me give a round of applause to the leadership, coaches, and the parents who volunteer for the Northwest Flyers. Without each of them, our athletes would not have this opportunity. They are shaping and helping these athletes so that they can succeed, not only on the track and field, but also in life. 1987 changed my life trajectory. In saying yes to the Northwest Flyers, it began a journey of successes, personally and professionally. As Pal mentioned, I was a high school state champion in the 1600 meters and cross country. I received a full scholarship to run for Texas A&M University. Any Aggies? Where I received a BS in civil engineering, and today I'm blessed to have a thriving business that serves the land development industry. But allow me to back up on how my running journey began. I'm one of 5 kids. I was born in 1974 to Mary and Nilo Sangalang. I have an older sister, Verona. I am a triplet. April, Belle, and me, Cecille, and a younger brother, Neil. You will hear me say we a lot because there wasn't anything I did as a kid that my triplet sisters did not do with me. So feel free to imagine they're here. They look just like me. We grew up in the Philippines up to about 6 years old. And I recall us running everywhere. If we wanted to go to a friend's house, we ran there. If we wanted to go to the store, we ran there. If we were in trouble and knew we were about to get a spanking, we ran out of there. Running served me well as a kid. Even when we moved here in 1980s. In 1980, we still ran to our friends' houses. I remember running to the 7-Eleven to go get Skittles. You name it, we ran there. So running was a big part of my life up to this point. It got me from point A to point B, and it was about to get better. So back in 1987, my triplet sisters and I are about the 7th grade. We played volleyball, basketball, ran track for Campbell Junior High. Vonda Newhouse was also on the track team. She was gifted just like her dad, Mr. Newhouse. And I'm so happy to see you here because I did not know you were going to be here. One of the founders of the Northwest Flyers. We're in the cafeteria. She hands us this flyer, and she says, "My dad is putting together a track team. Do you want to join?" She begins to tell us all about it. You go to different meets. You meet different kids from different schools. It sounded fun, so we decided to join. With all the running I mentioned in my formative years, we had this built-in endurance. So we would win junior high races easily. My triplet sisters and I would get first, second, and third with minimal practice and effort. The Northwest Flyers was not that simple or easy, but it was greater than what I could have imagined. Joining the Northwest Flyers opened a whole new world of possibilities. The Northwest Flyers track team was different than a junior high track team. The track meets were different. The coaches were different. Everything was different for the better. Mr. Newhouse, Mr. McLeod, Mr. Eustace, they elevated us. Practice was real. We actually had to meet specific times. At Campbell Junior High, it was, okay, your distance, go run very far. Practice was challenging. We not only had to run repeats, but with minimal rest. However, winning was more meaningful. When I placed or won, I knew we had competed against the best that weekend. I recall a track meet early in my first season that elevated my running. Mr. Newhouse might not remember this, but he comes over to me after a race which I had won. He asked, "What'd you think of that race?" I thought, "It was good, I won." He said very gently, "You were coasting, hanging in the middle of the pack, and then you sprinted at the end to win. You can only win that way for so long. That won't work at the regionals, and if you don't place at regionals, you won't make it to the big event, the Junior Olympics." So I said, "I'd like to go to the JOs. How do I do that?" "Run to the front of the pack. Lead the race, set the tempo." "What if I fade out trying to stay in the lead on the first lap?" "So you fade. Try again. Until one day you don't fade. You stay leading the race, and that's how you win." "But it will be embarrassing. I'm not used to losing." It's as if he knew I was going to say that, because immediately he said, "Practice how you want to race. Practice how you want to race." The next practice and every practice thereafter, I ran to the front, and I did fade until one day I didn't. And running to the front was as natural as breathing. I thought I had raced my best race that day, but what Mr. Newhouse showed me is the best is always around the corner. Your PR, your personal record, is just a placeholder for the next best around the corner. We made it to the JOs that year, and we won the 4x800 meters. And every year thereafter that we competed for the Northwest Flyers. For those of you, for those of you that are thinking, I'm not fast, or I can't run that long, I'm not a distance runner, I ask you, how do you know? Let me tell you the Madison story. So it's 2013. My nephew Anthony decides he wants to run track. So I Google, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that the Northwest Flyer organization was still around. There were so many kids, and I was asked to help coach. And so I agreed to. I was honored to, and I'm so glad I did, because now I'm able to share this story with you all. I was tasked with determining what each athlete ran at practice, and also determining what each athlete's time was at the track meet. So we're at this one track meet, and Madison is running the 1,500 meters. And I'm timing her. I know what her splits are, and she is beating every split. I am getting so excited. Long story short, she ends up running her PR. So I walk over from the finish line over to the tent where they're giving her, where the athletes are getting their times. And as I get closer, I notice that Madison wasn't as excited as I was. And so I said, "Madison, what's wrong?" She hands me her piece of paper. This makes me cry sometimes. She said, "Coach Cecille, I don't run this fast." I show her my stopwatch, and I say, "Today you did." From that point on, it was a different athlete. The way she practiced was different than at that moment. This is the same athlete who just early in the season just wanted to place. She ended up that year being on a distance relay team at regionals. You don't know what you're really capable of doing until you really try. The Northwest Flyers organization taught me two main things. Challenge yourself, lead, set the tempo, run to the front of the pack. Give your best every day. Practice how you want to race. And when you do, you'll see the fruits of your labor. Your best is around the corner. And number two, and just as important, success is never just our doing. We have so many people in our lives that help us along the way with their wisdom, guidance, and encouragement. They are our parents, our friends, our coaches, teachers, mentors, associates, colleagues, and employees. They may not say it with the right tone or the right words, but behind those words is their desire for you to see greatness. If they didn't, they wouldn't have taken the time. This brings me to the leadership and the coaches of the Northwest Flyers. If you could, I'm going to say your name, and please stay standing up. Pal Roach, Paul Gates, Tony Runnels, Maurice Edwards, Troy Hubert, Troy Spencer, Calandra Lake, Mary Jo Huggins, Deanne Carter, Lynette Roach, Siobhan Spencer, Tracy Haywood, Keisha Davis, Brittany Hillman, Raquel Runnels, Karen Monet. It's people like you that helped me get to where I am today. Y'all are all impacting these athletes more than you can imagine. Continue to do your best and amazing work for this organization. It is a wonderful platform to teach these athletes life lessons that they can carry on after their track journey. To the parents, thank you so much. I know it's tiring after work, and some days you want to just order pizza for the family and call it a day. And the last thing you want to do is take the kids to practice, or be in 100-degree heat, pack up the tents, pack up the cooler, cheer on your kids on the weekends, when you'd rather be playing golf, shopping, or sleeping in. Okay, maybe that's me. Continue to be their rock. Parents, Northwest Flyers leaders, and coaches, you all are grooming and shaping the next leaders and employees that change and improve this world for the better. To the existing Northwest Flyer athletes, please stand up. Thank you. What an amazing journey you are on. Stay on this path. It will only get better. Give your parents and coaches grace and thank them. They are here to lead and guide you. Do your part, go to practice with a great attitude, and race with conviction. And when you do, it is endless what you can accomplish. Lastly, be an example for the other athletes around you and the new athletes to come. We all need a beacon and encouragement from our peers. For the prospective Northwest Flyer athlete, is 2023 the year you change the trajectory of your life? Say yes to the Northwest Flyers, and you'll be amazed at the success you'll achieve now and in the future. How fun is this journey? Better than you can imagine. Thank you for your time. Oh, I get a gift. Thank you.
Come on, go on. As you all can see, the passion and the enthusiasm by Cecille, you see why she's a special person. So we've got a small gift. I guess you can go shopping at Nordstrom's, right?
Thank you.
And Cecille will be around for you to ask her any questions. And let's give her a round of applause, a real stand-up person.